we had the TCP minister, Vishwajit Rane, talking about creating green lungs in the city, in the urban areas, which is a good thing. But what he is saying and what he is doing, they are completely opposite. In Panjim, we have seen that the recreational area which is there in flood-prone areas, construction has been permitted in these flood-prone areas, which is not permitted. Besides, high-rise construction permissions are also given. Now we have a government order, a notification dated 14/9/2022, that is September, of the Chief Town Planner, published in Government Gazette, Series 2, number 25, dated 22nd September 2022. And I'll read out what the notification says. The areas such as low-lying paddy fields, water bodies, khazan land, flood-prone areas, I repeat, flood-prone areas, land having slopes more than 25%, forest land including private forest land, land falling in the buffer zone of wildlife sanctuaries, and tenanted agricultural land shall not be considered for change of zone. Again I repeat, shall not be considered for change of zone during the preparation of the ODP for planning areas. But what do we see? The government is going against its own rules. When the ODP of Panjim was made 2021, GBA had challenged it in the High Court. The High Court had given a stay, and the High Court had said that only ODP 2011 could be operative. So what the government has done today, in name they are saying they are giving permission under ODP 2011, but they have amended other rules and they are giving construction permission with higher FAR and higher height, which is not permissible under the state ODP 2021. There are three projects on government land where we can see this clear violation.
Greening first be done in our recreation area. I still talk about it as a recreation area, as I will explain to you later what our ODP of Panjim shows it as. We have another area. This is one. We have another area that is between the swimming pool and the indoor sports stadium. Now there, it's government land. These are all I'm talking about are government lands. I'm not talking about private lands. Here, the government wants to put a passenger ropeway along with ancillary tourism activities. Now this passenger ropeway is going from Panjim to Rej Margush. In Rej Margush, a plot belonging to the Komunidad, 8,000 square meters has been taken. This is orchard land, so to put up all buildings or whatever you need for the ropeway there, you will have to cut trees. What greening are we talking about? If the minister wants to green an area, green the area. Don't cut trees. So this is orchard land. So Rej Margush will be affected. Now Panjim also will be affected in many ways. A lot of traffic coming in. They're expecting 16,000 people a day. According to what they say, some 3 million people per year. So see how much of traffic coming in, how much of air pollution is going to be there with all this carbon monoxide and carbon dioxide and whatever. Now along with this passenger ropeway, they are going to have ancillary tourism activities. Now what exactly is this? Right now if you go near the swimming pool, you'll find parking for all children, everybody coming to the pool. Where they are going to park, don't ask me after this happens. Or they go to the indoor stadium. What is this ancillary tourism activities that is coming up there? Artificial skiing, tubing, artificial skydiving, aquarium, restaurant, kids activities zone. Do we need this in an overcrowded Panjim? Do we need all this? Everything seems so artificial. Everything is artificial here. We have natural surroundings. What are we getting this artificial stuff into our city? Aquarium. We need children to look at the aquarium and see fish in an aquarium because they're killing our Mandovi River with the casinos there and the amount of sewage that is out there. They are actually killing the river. Our fishermen are getting no proper fish. That is what they said the other day. Moreover, the CCP, the mayor of the CCP, has asked the fishermen who are along the Kampal area to move out from there because their boats are dirty and they are dirtying the water. Are the fishermen who were there for years and years, are they dirtying the water now? And your casino boats are so beautiful and so clean and they are not dirtying the water. So we are telling the fishermen to move out and see what the CRZ notification says. The objective, one objective is to ensure livelihood security to fishermen communities and other local communities living in coastal areas. So are we looking after our fishermen communities? Or we want them to get out and we say let the casinos remain. We're going to have entertainment hub, we're going to have artificial skiing, we're going to have artificial whatever, skydiving. All this is for people who come to casinos. We don't want anything artificial. We want our Panjim to be natural. We've seen what has happened in Wayanad. We've seen what has happened in Uttarakhand, yes, and yesterday in Jammu and Kashmir. You just need a cloud burst for flooding to happen. Is the government after that going to rush to try to save people who are flooding, or do we stop this before it happens? And already flood prone areas are marked. For what is that? Just to color a map or to take some action to avert all these dangers that can happen because of flooding? One more area we have is Foodlands. That Foodlands where the Miramar residency is, that whole area which is government land, institutional, also has been changed to 300 FAR. So can you imagine all tall buildings for what and for whom? And why this extra FAR that is coming up? This is what the town planning minister is doing on one side, and the other side is pretending to love the urban cities and wants to green it to make the air less polluted for us. And we elect them so that they will look after everything. The land is ours, it belongs to the people. They just have to look after. It doesn't mean they own it and they can do what they want with it because they are the government. So I think there's something going wrong here. Government land doesn't belong only to government. Governments keep changing. It doesn't belong only to government, it belongs to the people of Goa. So this is what we are doing to all government lands. We hope the minister will walk the talk and green these three spaces. First of all, revert what they have done. Take off that height and FAR of 300 FAR, come back to the original zoning of that area. And we want to see this, then we'll know if he's really serious about it. When I went to check the ODP of Panjim, I mean you have to give your objection suggestions, so the ODP 2031 is out. So I went to check that and I find that the same quarter deck area is shown as recreational. This is like cheating the people. You show it's green, okay, so why should we object? We are so happy it's green. But when I went to check the explanatory note that is right down there in very small letters, number 4 says the change of zone affected in the area stroke plots by the government which is not reflected in the plan shall also be treated as part of ODP. So are we going to town planning to check what they are doing to that plan so that we know that that is what the plan should be, a plan which is a clear plan for people to see. So I feel that these ODPs, regional plans are just plans to be put on the wall. What is actually happening is something else. Government is just changing zoning as they like it. You know, we NGOs are always normally termed as anti-development by those who have private interest. These are the people who always say these NGOs are anti-development. We are not anti-development. We speak for the people of the city. We speak for Goa. And we are all going to be very badly hit by a disaster that is waiting to happen. We earnestly request the GCZMA, this is an authority under the Ministry of Environment and Forest, set up to protect the coast, not to give approvals blindly. They have given approvals to this entertainment hub blindly. Don't they know it's a flood-prone area? How could they do that? Blindly and under pressure. I feel they should do their job without fear, and if they cannot, I think they should resign and go home, because name today is much more important than just a job, and you're just there to give in to the pressures that come to you. So GCZMA, I would request them earnestly to protect our flood-prone areas. We are in danger, people of Panjim are in danger, and then afterwards taking our bodies to the morgue is not going to solve the problem once Panjim areas are flooded. Let's avert the danger right now. The CRZ laws also are not anti-development, because that objective is to promote development through sustainable manner on scientific principles. They are also saying to promote development, but on scientific principles, taking into account the dangers of natural hazards in the coastal area and sea level rise due to global warming. Even CRZ is talking about this. So all the government has to do is implement this, not go against the CRZ laws and the order of their own chief town planner. I have a small message for Mr. Vishwajit Rane. Dear Mr. Vishwajit Rane, the people of Panjim and Goa need to live a life without fear of flooding. We have seen what happened in Jammu and Kashmir yesterday. Just a cloud burst can get Panjim flooded. We welcome your idea of afforestation, but at the same time, as TCP Minister, please look into the issue of rezoning in all flood-prone areas of Panjim, which is against the order of Mr. Rajesh Naik, Chief Town Planner, and against the CRZ law in force. Please revert these areas into their existing zoning, and then we will know that you are really serious about greening of urban areas to lower heat levels and make it bearable for the people living in the cities.
First has violated the High Court order. The High Court order clearly says that ODP 21 should be stayed and ODP 11 should be implemented. The FAR that has been given to these three projects on government land, whether at Quarterdeck, at the Panjim swimming pool area or Foodland area, the FAR are not as per ODP 11. The government has changed regulations and they have bypassed the law, and through the regulations they are giving this permission. Regulations cannot bypass an act. Okay, so they are violating the court order. Besides, again we are reiterating, these areas are flood prone areas and no construction is permitted, and the government should adhere to the rules. Now we have pointed out the construction permitted on government land. The entire Panjim, there are more areas marked as flood prone areas, and permissions have been granted there also. And this increase in height and FAR arbitrarily through some regulation is being done all over Goa. Today we are concentrating on Panjim to highlight the seriousness and the disaster that is awaiting Panjim.
I just want to make a slight this, where after the the case has gone to court, government was allowed to use the ODP 2021 for government projects. However, let me make it very clear that all the height and height and FAR changes they've made is also beyond ODP 2021. Forget 2011, which is for everything else, but it's beyond ODP 2021 also.
But we have enough examples abroad, and a famous example is something that was done in Curitiba, Brazil, 50 years ago, where one person with a vision had understood the issue of flood-prone areas, and instead of building next to the river, he allowed them to be parks so that people can enjoy them, and when the flood does happen, that is what takes the waters without damage. And the thing is, they say that as NGOs we are anti-development. My point is, you are allowing somebody to invest so much money in an area which is flood-prone. Within the next 5-10 years, you're going to see this. And investment is in crores. They're also going to lose out. It's not just us crying horse and being the usual anti-development lobby. That's not the case. And I think each and every person in the city should rise up against this, because people are losing their access to the waterfront, which is also a very important thing for citizens of a place.